One of the most important days of the year is this weekend. That's Mother's Day, and we have the perfect gift for that mother figure in your life. Joining me today is Courtney Olson, the Director of Programs at the Charleston Parks Conservancy. Courtney, I want to thank you for joining us. And what do we have here?
So I'm going to talk a little bit about making an olla today, and it's a water conservation pot that was, these date back 4,000 years, and so we are going to experiment with making one, and it is a terracotta unglazed pot that you fill with water and then bury in a planter or in your raised garden bed that then will feed the plants water as it sweats the water out of the sides of it.
So it's a wonderful gift and it's minimal work.
Yes.
Awesome. So what is the first steps of making an olla?
So this is what it'll turn out to look like. And then what we have are two unglazed terracotta pots. A lot of people will have these in their sheds at home, or you can pick these up at any garden center. They're relatively inexpensive. And then we note that both of them have holes in them. So we need to cover up one of those holes. The glue that you want to make sure that you're using a waterproof glue, and then we're just going to use, I have some rocks here. I know kids love to go look for rocks in the yard. You could also use a milk cap if you wanted, or just a stick glued on the bottom. So I'm just putting a little glue on the bottom, and then I'm going to place it in that pot to cover up the hole. And then the next step, it does help to wet the sides of the pot where we're going to seal it with a little bit of water before we put the glue on. And then you're just going to run a ribbon. You definitely want to have an adult do this part because this gets pretty sticky. So you can just run a ribbon of this glue around the edge. And it doesn't have to be perfect because, again, this is going to be buried in the ground. So this is the fun part where we try to get the seams lined up. And that's it. And then after it cures, your little one, they could write a little message to mom on the top, or every mom loves a handprint of some kind to mark the time in a child's life. So you'll let this go ahead and dry, and then we have a planter here that I've buried one in, and you just want to make sure that you're burying it pretty close to the surface, and you just want to be able to have this part exposed, and that's where you'll fill the water up. So you can just put the water in the olla, and you'll fill it up until you see it bubble out. And again, this can be something that a little one can do. Kids obviously love to play with water, so getting to fill it up.
So typically a plant of this size, how long until you have to refill the olla?
So, this will probably feed the olla for a week at a time. And so it's not really, and you can also move these around to sort of cover it up if you don't want to be able to see it, which is nice too. But it really is self-watering. The plants will draw the water that they need, so you're never over-watering. You're conserving water by not watering on top of the plant. That'll instantly evaporate. That also keeps the disease and downy mildew, which is something that happens a lot with plants in our humidity. But yeah, it's really very simple, and again, it's thousands of years old and an easy craft to do with your kids.
And this is perfect for vacations?
Yes.
Now, this is a pretty large flower plant.
Yeah.
Can it be used for other plants as well? Food, vegetables?
Yeah, so we actually found out about I found out about it from one of our community gardeners at the Charleston Parks Conservancy, and so she uses them in her raised garden beds. And the ones that Shelley uses are a larger size, and she'll have 3 to 4 of these at different parts in her beds.
And there's different types of ollas, correct?
Yes. So traditionally, they weren't made out of these types of pots, but this is an easy DIY way to do it. But traditionally, it was a small vessel with a small neck that then was a bulbous round pot at the bottom that was then buried into the ground.
Wow. Well, like you said, this has been around for almost 4,000 years, and it's incredible how they're still in use today. Courtney, I want to thank you so much for coming and bringing us this wonderful Mother's Day idea.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Of course. We're back after this.